Hey guys, it's Crispy Driver, and I got to go to the Indianapolis 500. To start, I want to say how appreciative I am for getting an opportunity to go to the Indy 500. A friend of a friend actually provided the tickets, and we found out about it like Tuesday before. So it was a little last minute, but I am super thankful for the opportunity to go, even if the experience wasn't that great. A good day at the racetrack is beats any day at work. So I really do appreciate that they gave me those tickets, and they thought of me when they had those extra tickets. So I really appreciate that and wanted to mention that. But as the title says, this was my worst experience at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. I do want to balance it out by pointing out that I am grateful for the experience regardless, just to point out, because I think there are a lot of people who would benefit from hearing about this experience, mostly people who maybe want to come to the Indy 500 in the future. It's just that way they can prepare and maybe just get, maybe we could get IMS to change a few things to maybe make the experience better for everybody that comes. For some backstory, I have been to IMS several times, and more recently I've gone to the Indianapolis 8-hour and the Battle of the Bricks in 2023. I've made videos on both those experiences. I'll link them up here somewhere at the top, and I thoroughly enjoyed myself while there. So it's not my first experience at IMS, so I was kind of familiar with who and where and when to go, but the Indianapolis 500 was a completely different experience. To start things off, it did rain, obviously. We had gotten up pretty early and we seen that it was raining, so we decided to wait a little bit. Waited as long as we could, then we went ahead and left, and then on our way up we got the word that it was delayed. Not a big deal, so when we got up there, we went ahead and parked in a parking place and then just chilled there, watched a movie, waited, and then when we got the word that everything was kind of moving forward, we went ahead and walked onto the track, which is where things got hectic first. Entering the gate was wild. There was like hundreds of people all trying to get in. Of course, some people had already been in there and left, and then some of them were just coming in like we were. So they're trying to scan some tickets but not scan other tickets, and it just made it confusing and trying to get through the lines. Either way, we finally got through, got our little group of people through, and that's kind of where we ended up hit our first snag. So this right here is the view of the seats that we thought we had. Unfortunately, we had been misinformed, or maybe we misunderstood. I'm not entirely sure. But it turned out that we are actually located in the general or grass only seating, which is located in the center of the track. So after the mix up, we made our way down to the interior of the track. This is our view for the beginning of the race. As you can see, we can see a small amount of the track and in one of the screens. Hadn't really prepared for sitting in the grass. I had all of my stuff for sitting on the benches, but we made do, kind of just set them up, made ourselves like a little camp there on the edge of all the people. And to be honest, it was really hard to enjoy the race. I can't speak enough to how rude people were, like bumping into you every time they passed. Walking through your group, walking through your little encampment if you had like seats set up and your bags down, stepping on your shit as they were walking over, like just being absolutely rude. Drunk people everywhere, drunk teenagers everywhere. Like the amount of drunk underage people, I believe were underage people, was insane. And there was nobody really checking on it, or I mean, there was cops there, but they sure weren't doing anything. There was security there, they weren't doing anything about it. So it's pretty wild to see, an event that big and they allow that much just basically public drunkenness. I don't know. It just felt weird. And it's not that I haven't ever, that it's not like I've never been to a party before, guys. I'm 33. I'm a Marine Corps veteran. I've been to a party or two, but this was ridiculous, guys. I mean, it was just nuts. So after like the first yellow flag, I went for a walk. I had to check things out, and I just wanted to get away from all these people. Honestly, though, it didn't help. Trying to make my way back to the bathrooms, I had to weave through like cars and go-karts and more drunk people. It was just nuts. And so I ended up grabbing some merch on my way back. After the race finally got into a groove, though, some of the big amount of the people that were there, assumedly just to party, all left. And allowed us to actually get on the other side of the hill where we could actually see the race. And there's a lot of the footage that you're seeing now. From here, things weren't too bad. We were able to watch the rest of the race pretty much uninterrupted. And we got to see that very tight race at the end for the lead, which was amazing. After everything was over, people were milling their way out. And as you can see, they left everything they could. I was honestly disgusted. Like, these people are supposed to be race fans, and this is the state that they left their racetrack in. You know, I just can't state it enough. I was very disappointed in everybody that was there. All in all, I definitely think I learned a few things, though. For sure, if I'm ever given a free ticket, I'm going to definitely check and see where that seating's at and make sure I prepare accordingly for it. I don't blame the person at all, again, who had provided the tickets. They didn't know. There's no way they could have known. Nobody could have known. And if they had known, we all would have, done more to kind of make it a better experience by either getting there earlier, getting a better spot, bringing blankets, whatever we needed to make sure it was a good time. So I, again, don't want to put any blame on the person that got the tickets. This is not their fault. And I don't want to blame the drivers or the race at all. The race was great. I just think, in my opinion, there's a lot of things that could be done to make, the situation better. Next time, I think I'll definitely buy my own tickets just to confirm that I am getting, actual seats, which knowing that there are assigned seats, it makes me a little more confident to do that. Because, you can actually leave your seat, go get some merch, come back, and it's not going to be a big deal. Nobody's going to be, you'll have the right to sit in that seat. So, what I think IMS can do to make this experience a lot better for everybody is, clearly mark the bleachers so that people don't make the same mistake we did. Maybe make it more clear on the tickets where the seating's at. And it may have been that I didn't ever get to see the tickets. So it could have been that it was very clear and we just didn't, the person that had them didn't read it. And that's fine. Not their fault. Again, I don't blame them in any way. And honestly, they got to do a better job about the drinking. I mean, it was one thing to see a few people have a few beers, and I had a few beers there myself.
Get it now. Drinking. That's how this is fun. That's why all these people are smiling. Drinking.
But I didn't get so drunk that I passed out on the ground with my face in the grass. I didn't get that wasted, but there was plenty of people that were. There were plenty of people once that race was over that were still drunk and laying on the ground. So, yeah, pretty bad. And something that I'm putting on the spectators to do better on is policing your trash. I mean, it was disgusting how much trash was just left by people. Like, we got to do better. If we leave places like this trash, then we're not going to be able to come back to them next year because we're going to have to spend more money paying all these people to clean up the trash that y'all left. So we really got to do a better job just as race fans to clean up after ourselves. As for my personal opinion, I don't think that the Indianapolis 500 is about racing anymore. It's really about that snake pit and the party in the center of the track, and the race just happens to be occurring at the same time. A majority of the people that I saw attending the race in the general area were like average dude bro frat boys and college age chicks barely covering themselves. Like, YouTube would literally ban this video if I showed you some of the outfits that were being worn during and around the racetrack. So set aside bad seating, set aside pretty much everything else. The part that ruined the race the most for me, it was honestly other people. I suppose I should have expected this, being that it is a big race. It's, it's one of the biggest races in the world. But I've never had an experience trying to enjoy a race where a majority of the people were not there for the race or to enjoy the race. I'm not saying I'm the biggest IndyCar fan in the world, but I did look into it quite a bit before the race. I did watched practices and qualifying, tried to get into it. So it felt really crappy to put all that time, and I don't know. I just felt bad for the people that were there for the race, because if you were in that area, I just don't feel like you got to enjoy the race like it should be. I suppose maybe my expectations may have been set too high by other experiences I've had at IMS. But let me know down in the comments what you guys think. Have you ever had an experience like this at the Indianapolis 500? Have you ever had an experience like this at any big race? And let me know down below what was it like? Or if you think I was overreacting, let me know what you think. But if you like this video, please leave me a like. If you dislike it, smash that dislike button like it's my face, bro. And if you subscribe, just know that I truly, truly appreciate it. And until next time, this has been Crispy Driver, and you have yourself a wonderful day.
Hey, pool access too, not just pool access, bathroom access, whatever you need.
Word.
Hey, there's